Good morning, YouTube family. We're here live with Denise Garcia at Your Place Coffee.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Drinks with Denise. Thank you for joining us today.
Jonathon Gonzales.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm extremely excited to be at your place having drinks with Denise. This is amazing. This is a huge opportunity for Elevate Clothing Brand. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So what we've got here to eat today is some quiche and some
That's delicious.
peanut butter cookie. Denise, you want to help us here?
Hey, so this is a Mexican quiche made by Abby. This is a cinnamon muffin with cinnamon cream cheese frosting made special by Abby here at Your Place Coffee in Greeley, Colorado. Here I've got an almond chai, sweet chai, in one of the Your Place coffee cups that's really actually pretty nice. So it's delicious. So you guys need to come down to Your Place Coffee and check it out. And Johnny's got some special concoction over there.
I asked this young lady to make me something to pick me up this morning. She gave me some espresso with coffee. Thank you so much to Your Place. This is amazing. This is more than what I asked for. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. All right, so we're here today, Drinks with Denise, and we're going to be interviewing people who are interesting to me, people that I find encouraging and uplifting. And so my first choice was Jonathon Gonzales, who not only is my friend, but he's also my son. So no bias here, but I am super proud of him and what he's doing with his life. So thank you, Jonathon, for being here, and thank you very much for allowing me to interview you, and thank you for being my first guest. I'm really excited.
Thank you is coming from my end. This is a huge opportunity. Obviously, I dress to the nines because this is a big deal for me. This is huge. This is something that is chasing my purpose. So thank you guys for having me with Drinks with Denise. This is amazing. This is something that I'm just like super stoked about. It's like having an interview by Oprah Winfrey. So it's amazing.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you, honey. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to just go ahead and ask you a few questions, Jonathon, about yourself. And so I'm going to just start with my first question to you is, why are you here today? What made you want to be on Drinks with Denise?
So it's funny how it all started, because it's like chasing this purpose, right? This purpose that is more than myself. It's something that is important to me. We all have a purpose, right? We all have something that is meaningful to us. And I heard a while back, don't chase the paycheck, chase the purpose. The purpose will create the paycheck. So that's something that's super important to me, and that's why I'm here, is to not only drop my brand, drop something that means a lot to me, but to chase my purpose. So thank you.
Wow, thank you, Jonathon. And I think it's so funny because I know I always told you when you were younger, I wish that you could see yourself through my eyes, because I always saw something special, and I'm excited to hear about your journey and your road that it took you to get to where you are today, where you're doing something great and you're chasing your dream. And I think it's just, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. So let's go on to the next question. So what, Jonathon, encourages you the most?
The little things. The little things encourage me. The little things like seeing a young man that may not necessarily look like your typical good young man with the comb over haircut, the dress to the nine, kid that might be sagging his pants a little bit, but he still opens up the door for a lady. That encourages me. Somebody that is doing their best, trying their hardest every single day, that may not get the thank you that they deserve, but are doing the big things that matter. The little things are what encourages me. The mom that wakes up every single morning and gets their kids ready by themselves, that encourages me. The dad that goes to work every single morning and comes home and just does it because it's the right thing to do. Those things encourage me.
It's true.
So
That's true.
the little things in life that don't take money to make you a good person is what encourages me.
Kindness is free, right? So
Absolutely free.
It's not anything that's going to cost you any monetary value, right? It's not going to cost you anything to do something nice. So I want to talk a little bit about what happened to us last night, because it was one of those little acts of kindness that you're not expecting, right? So last night we were at dinner. We met with Jonathan and his wifey. We call her wifey. And so we met them at Applebee's here in Greeley, Colorado last night. And we're sitting there eating. We're talking about, this interview and just about the direction our lives are going, all the great things that everybody is doing. We get to the end of our meal and our waitress comes over and she says, hey, somebody paid for your dinner, but they didn't want us to tell you who it was until after they left. And so we're all sitting there in awe, just because it's an awesome thing to have somebody, you're not expecting it, So anyway, I'm going to let Jonathan have a little bit of say in here what happened after that. But
it was amazing, because that's what Elevate is about, is uplifting people, about taking them to a place where they feel good about themselves, right? So after whoever paid for our meal, God bless you, right? They paid for our meal, and we didn't know who to pay it forward to, right? We're looking around and it looks like some young oil-filled cat is right there, and it looks like he's financially stable, right? He take care of himself. And we're wondering who we should pay it forward to, right? And as we're having dinner, we're talking about taking care of the mom with the Elevate money, right? And we pay it forward to our waitress, right? And it's so crazy to me, because earlier that night I had found money that I was missing for 2 weeks ago, right? And it was some good pocket change, man. It was enough to pay for dinner, right? And I had lost it, and I was so upset about it, right? And we had combined our income together, my mom and my dad and my wife and I, we all pitched in, and we left that as a tip, right? And the girl immediately started crying, and we told her we didn't know who to pay it forward to, so we're giving this to you. And she immediately started crying, told us, you don't know how much this means to me. Cried, and it looked like she couldn't hold herself, so she walked away as fast as possible. We leave, and I'm telling my mom, and I'm telling my wife, and I'm telling everybody, like, how crazy is that we were just talking about elevating people and being good to people, and that happens, right? Everything happens for a reason. So that was something that was super special to me, that you ever wonder if you're doing the right thing and then that happens, that's confirmation right there. So that was something special, right?
That's right. The small things, the small things that really just touch your heart. And so, to the family or to the folks that paid for our dinner last night, really many blessings to you. That was amazing for us. And to the waitress who also got to get paid forward, many blessings to you too. And thank you for the hard work that you're doing out in this pandemic and waiting on people and serving people in such a hard time. So we appreciate that. Thank you guys. All right. So Jon, let me ask you, and I know that we've talked about this a lot, and this is one of the things that interests me the most about you, because I know you very well. I've known you your whole life. And so I want you to share with me your thoughts, and where were you a year ago?
A year ago, I was a self-centered person, right? I was a person that necessarily was more interested in the materialistic things of life. I got a $900 Versace book in my closet that I hardly ever wear, right? A year ago, I was somebody that was very self-centered, only really cared about myself, right? I only cared about the paycheck. I only cared about what would benefit me, right? A year ago. It doesn't mean that I was a bad person, right? I wasn't a bad dad or a bad person in general. I still had the same beliefs that I have right now. It's just I wasn't who I was meant to be at that time in my life. A year ago, I was so lost, right? Even though I thought that was something that I was like, man, I'm reaching success. I could buy whatever I want. I could do whatever I want, right? And it wasn't something that was making me happy, right? It was a year ago, it was like I could do whatever I wanted because of my financial background, but it wasn't something that I was finding fulfillment in, right? Everybody always thinks that when you hit this spot or you become famous or you have $1 million or you can do whatever you want is going to make you happy, but that's not necessarily the case, or else famous people wouldn't commit suicide, right?
Right.
And it's something that is really like hits me here, because no matter how much money I made, there was always this piece that I was like, man, this is not my purpose. This is not something
Right.
that generally makes me happy. So
Like that big gaping hole of what am I supposed to be doing right now? So
that
you're-
missing purpose.
Yeah, you're chasing it all over.
So a year ago, I was lost, even though I was hitting goals that I had, right? Financial goals. I wasn't hitting those spiritual goals that Elevate's about, right?
Right.
Elevate is not about just a religious deal, right? About having your connection with God. It's a spiritual deal. It's just something that's like, you know what? I want to be a good person, not only on the inside, right, but on the outside too, right? Because we all have. My train of thought, right? Have you ever seen a handsome guy that's really a jerk, right? You're
yeah.
like, man, that dude's beautiful on the outside, but he's ugly on the inside. But have you ever met a man that's beautiful on the inside and on the outside? That's a force to be reckoned with, man, and that's who I want to be, right? So a year ago, it was somebody that necessarily I was proud of, but not who I wanted to be,
Right.
right?
Because you had like your financial status, you were doing great in your career, you were doing great at your job. You're probably one of the top salesmen in Weld County, if not the state, right? So you had all of these things going for you, but there seemed like there was still something missing. And so I think for you, where you were a year ago is a complete 180 from where you are today, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts, yeah.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true. So I want to give you a little bit of an opportunity, Jonathan, to talk a little bit about Elevate. Give us, because I know you're going to be having a launch party. So when we have the launch party for Elevate, I want to invite all of you to be there. It's going to be, when is that going to be?
First week of November, Elevate is dropping. I'm dropping 5 different logos. I'm dropping 5 different shirts, right? And each shirt is for a different cause. So we have this one right here that my mom's wearing. This shirt, a portion of that money will go back to kids in need, right? So that shirt has a purpose.
Right.
This shirt right here is for men, right? For all those good dads that, are out there, that this shirt has a purpose, right? Every shirt that I'm dropping has a significant purpose, right? So this shirt is for my men, right? The shirt that I have to the left of me, Beauty for Ashes, that's for my women. That's for the moms out there. That's for the beautiful women in the world, right? That's to give back to them. So Beauty for Ashes is one of my favorite lines because I have a soft spot for my moms,
So I'm excited. So Elevate really, Jonathan has shared with me on many occasions that Elevate is really about elevating others, elevating those people around you. And that's the reason why it was so interesting to me to have Jonathan here, because he's walked away from a career that was very good to him, which actually leads me into my next question, which is, what made you walk away from such a great career?
So I dropped this video a while back about LeBron James and about your purpose, right? And it was crazy to me because towards the end of it, I lost the love for selling cars, right? Very good at it, man. I could sell in my sleep. That's how good I was. Like I was always prospecting, always trying to sell a car,
110%.
all the time.
Yep.
I was always 10xing everything, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it was something that was very important to me. But then it was like I lost that love for it, So when I lost the love for selling cars, it was more along the lines of like, okay, what is my purpose, right? What is the meaning of me leaving a thing that I made a lot of money, right? To do something that I have I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? This is like something that I don't know if it's gonna be lucrative. I don't know if I'm gonna hit my goals, my financial goals, right? But I know that when you step out of the boat, and I'm gonna make a metaphor for this, right?
Yeah.
So
please.
when you step out of the boat, and I'm very in touch with my spirit right now, right? And there's a story in the Bible about Peter, and he wakes up and he sees Jesus in the water, right? And he's like wondering if he should step out of the boat right?
Yeah.
It's that faith, right? The
Yeah.
faith is what
Yeah.
pushed me to be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave something that I know that I'm comfortable with, and I'm gonna put my faith in my purpose, right?
There you go.
So it
There
was
you go.
something that was like, I knew that I was meant for more. Now, selling cars was part of my life, right? Selling
Right.
cars was part of my purpose, right? But it wasn't my purpose. Do you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
It was to prepare you for such a time as this.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is to the T what I'm talking about. Because for me, stepping out of the boat and stepping out of,
Right.
I had a guaranteed paycheck. You know, I knew that I was gonna bank it
Yeah.
because of how. Now this right here, it was like, you know, you have faith enough to be like, you know what, I'm gonna chase after my dreams. I've always wanted to start a clothing brand,
Right.
but I
Since
never.
you were a kid.
Since I was a kid,
Yeah.
right?
Since you were a kid, you've
I've-
been talking about this.
But I never had the right intentions, right? I didn't have the right vision, and I didn't have the purpose, right?
And you have the experience.
Yeah.
Like everything that you learned in your career as Johnny the youngster, Johnny the young gangster,
Yeah.
Johnny the roofer, Johnny the construction worker, you know, Johnny the city worker, all of those things, honey, I believe prepared you for today, right? There's nothing you couldn't do, John. You could go anywhere and fit in because you have that kind of a personality, and I believe that lifting people up, encouraging them, and giving back to your community, Jonathan, the community that you've lived in your entire life, that is why you had all these things. That's why you were here, had to be brought back down. We talked a little bit about that. You shared with me your experience of, you know, being on the top and being pulled back down because those obstacles that get put into your way when you're not necessarily on the right path, right? You got these obstacles in your way, and I told you the other day, I said, Johnny, your plumb line is straight. Your plumb line is straight, and I truly believe that. And I'm super excited about just how excited you get, like to see you, my son, where you came from, who you were, where you've been, you know, and to see you sitting over here in a suit and tie, with your hair combed over to the side, your nice shoes on, you know, that beautiful smile that you have, you know, for me to see you like that, my heart, my cup runneth over, honey. My cup runneth over for sure. So, so let me just ask you, I have a couple more questions for you, and this one here, I think for me is exciting because I always want to know, like, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts on where are you going to be in a year, John? Where do you think you'll be in a year?
It's funny that you asked this, Mom, because I'm a business person, right? We do SMART goals, right? SMART goals as business people are how we obtain our goals, right? We do monthly goals, weekly goals, quarterly goals, yearly goals. So this is something that really hit me hard because I had a plan for my life of what I wanted to do. I wanted to own 5 different businesses. That was my plan, right? Is that I wanted to own 5 different businesses, right? But my plan, compared to God's plan, small-minded. Why own 5 different companies when you could talk to 500 different companies about how to motivate people, how to elevate people, how to push people in the right direction and be like, you know what, man, if I started as somebody that grew up on the north end of Greeley, gangbanging, selling drugs, not getting a high school education, not getting a college education, not amounting to much that I thought in my eyes, right? My plan for my life is nothing compared to what God has planned for me. So I'm going to leave that in God's hands. I'm going to let Him take the will on that one, and I'm just going to do the right thing, So when He tells me to go in the right direction, I'm going to just follow it, man, because that's what a leader does, right? A leader creates the path, right? And that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow whatever path I'm meant to follow, right? Doing the right thing is what I'm meant to do in the future, right?
Right. Following those dreams and looking for those small nuggets of the wrong way sign The other day you did a video on your Facebook. So if you guys know Jonathan or you want to know Jonathan and you want to know more about Elevate, make sure that you go out and follow him on Facebook. He does some amazing videos, some encouraging videos that I know all of you are going to love. But anyway, he did a video and his sister looked at the video. He's talking about you were talking about obstacles,
Right, and burning the bridge, or burning the
Burning
boats.
the boats.
Yeah, burning the boats, you know, and what it meant to me,
Right.
right, is like was no surrender, no retreat. If you know the story about burning the boats, it's about a army that the commander says to the soldiers, burn the boats because there's no turning back.
Yeah, we're
Right.
not leaving until this is done.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? So I left that on my Facebook, and Rosie had found the sign, the little gold nugget
Yeah.
in the back saying wrong way.
Yeah.
So
Because your windshield is so big, right?
Right.
Because and your rear view mirror is so small because you should always be looking forward, right? Never looking back. So that was an amazing little nugget. I'm telling you, if we're all looking for signs in our lives to like know and understand which way we're supposed to be going or what's the right thing to do or that still small voice in your head that tells you, hey, you know what, that's not such a good idea, but this is a really good idea. Follow that, research that, seek that out because that's what's going to get you to where you want to be. So I encourage you to follow that still small voice. All right. So Johnny, my last question for you today is, what is your greatest accomplishment to date?
Well, coming from an athletic background, you have a bunch of different accomplishments, right? And so I remember winning state for baseball, right? I remember wrestling, and I left a video about me wrestling this kid that was a monster. Like, this dude was a beast. He had dropped his weight class, or dropped the weight class just to wrestle me because we were both undefeated, right? And everybody we already beaten. And so it was something that was a huge accomplishment for me, right? Meeting the woman of my dreams was a big accomplishment. 8 years later, having my first child was a big accomplishment. So these are all big accomplishments that I've had in my life, and I know what victory tastes like, right? But I think the biggest accomplishment, now, mind you, the most important days of my life was obviously meeting the woman of my dreams and, you know, having kids, and those are one of the most important days of my life.
Right.
Now, my biggest accomplishment as a man and as a human being is admitting when I was wrong, you know? And that's something that hits home right there, because a lot of times as human beings, we don't like to say we're wrong, right? And we don't know how to correct it.
It's a big pill to swallow.
When we make a mistake, that's something that we're like, man, I was going through a divorce, right? Just a few months back, like we're talking about separating, right? Where I'm talking about seeing my kids only on the weekends, you know? And it's crazy because my mind is telling me, Johnny, just do the right thing.
Yeah.
Just admit that you're wrong. And I'm like, nah, man, that ain't the move, right? Like, I'm just gonna keep on sweeping this under the rug, right?
Yep.
Until you walk in the door one day and you trip over the rug because there's so much dirt swept underneath it. Until you move all that dirt out of the rug and say, this is who I am, and this is where I'm going, and this is how I'm gonna make it happen. That was my biggest accomplishment, because for so long, I would just say, you know what, it was a mistake, sweep it under the rug. Oh, this was an issue, sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
So my biggest accomplishment this far is admitting when I was wrong and having the courage to make it right, to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because part of Elevate is integrity, right? Integrity is like doing the right thing when nobody else is looking. When everybody else has their head turned, are you gonna do the right thing? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's important to me. That's what Elevate is about. And it's not my dream. This dream is gonna touch so many other people that I don't even know about. That's why I don't want to put a cap on my goals, because I don't know who it's gonna touch. You know. So my biggest accomplishment in moving forward is being like, make the mistake, right? Learn from the mistake, make it better.
Right.
Elevate myself to a different level.
Yep.
Right.
Take that trash, put it out on the curb, and don't bring it back. Yep. That just means, and you know, I think, John, for a man to be able to admit that he's wrong, that's huge. That is huge. I have seen on your Facebook and on your videos all of the young men and young women that are following you, that are thanking you for everything that you're doing. So your epiphany, mind blowing, mind blowing. But I think it was your epiphany. Now it's your dream that you're going to be working on and making come true, and you're going to be touching many, many millions of lives. I can see it. I just know it. I feel it in my heart, Jonathan. I feel that the direction that you're going as parents, we couldn't be more proud of you right now. And I just want to thank you for spending the time here with me today, and just give you an opportunity to close us out. Say whatever you would like to say about Elevate, about anything that you would like to talk about. This is your opportunity.
Elevate is about serving a bigger purpose. Elevate is about uplifting people. 2020, not just for myself, but everybody around us, whether you're in the haircutting industry, whether you're in the restaurant industry, whether you're a business owner, whether you're in the, wherever you're at, 2020 separated us from each other. Elevate is about bringing us together, letting each other know that, hey, I got your back. I'm gonna uplift you when you're down. That's what Elevate's about. So when you see my t-shirt, or when I do my launch party, I would love for you to come to see what it's about, man, to uplift people around you, because 2020 has suppressed us so much that it's like, man, we feel like we're losing, right? But in order to learn how to win, you have to know how to lose, right? Let's win together. Let's elevate each other to a different level. So I just want to say thank you so much for having drinks with Denise. Thank you so much for your place in Greeley, Colorado, for having us here. I just want to say thank you so much. You know, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today, and we will be again keep looking for the launch party for Elevate. It'll be the first week of November, so we'll be putting out more details. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, look for us on Snapchat. We'll be out there. And if you liked our video today, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel. We really appreciate you guys. We appreciate My Place Coffee for having us here today, and for letting us use their facility, and for these great food that we are now going to start eating. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here, honey. I appreciate it. I love you. I can't wait to see what you're going to do. This is going to be great. This is going to be great. Thanks, everybody. Bye.